Imagine you're at the pickleball court and your partner collapses. They're unconscious. What are you going to do in that situation? How are you going to react to potentially save the life of a friend or a loved one? Today, Dr. Lacey and I want to talk to you about the 3 simple steps you need to take to potentially save a life. And we also are going to talk to you about using an AED, automated external defibrillator. We're hoping to take you from scared bystander to heroic lifesaver today on Living Heart Smart.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Living Heart Smart. Matt just set up an emergency for us. Someone has collapsed right in front of you. What do you do to save their life? There are 3 steps. Number 1, go call 911. And if you don't call 911, assign someone else to do it specifically. Number 2, send someone to get an AED. And number 3, start hands-only CPR. You may save someone's life with those 3 steps.
3 simple steps, totally agree. Yeah, and just as a reminder, it takes on average EMS about 10 minutes to get to an emergency. So the steps that you're taking in between then are life-saving steps. Mm-hmm. And for you and I both, this is very personal. We've both seen lives saved with AEDs on hand.
We have.
So that's why we're partnering with local gyms, businesses, clubs, and country clubs to try to find ways to help get the message out. We want people to know specifically where they can find an AED, who they should contact if they have questions, and maybe even hear some stories about how AEDs have saved lives at their clubs. When we come back from that, we're going to talk a little more about the scope of this problem, which is massive, and then we're going to go into more detail about how to use AED in that situation.
So a cardiac arrest is different than having a heart attack. This is an arrhythmia problem. This is someone has collapsed right in front of you and their heart is no longer beating. It's life-threatening. There are over 350,000 cardiac arrests that occur out of hospital in the United States every year. Yeah. And unfortunately, 90% of those are fatal.
Yeah.
90%.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to get the word out about how to use these AEDs and the 3 steps that we're talking about, because we can lower that fatality rate from 90% to about 50% or even better if these proper steps are taken immediately. And they're easy to do. Yeah. Carolyn, let's just start with the basics. What is an AED? Well, this is a small mechanical machine, and what it does, it analyzes someone's heart rhythm, and if the rhythm is life-threatening, it then delivers a synchronized and organized shock to restore the person's rhythm back to normal. They are incredible. They do all the work. Your only job is to get it on the patient so it can do its work. Right. Otherwise, it's not very useful. So these are everywhere now. You can find them in gyms and restaurants and most businesses. It's your job to get familiar with where they are and how to use them. Now, I want to make a big point here about what the difference is between a heart attack and a sudden cardiac arrest. This device is used for sudden cardiac arrest. This is when someone goes from standing there talking to collapsing and not being responsive. That's different than a heart attack. Sudden cardiac arrest is a rhythm problem. A heart attack is an artery problem. Someone's going to say, oh, I have chest pain, pressure, and tightness, and I'm sweaty, and I don't feel good. That is a 911 call, but that's not a cardiac arrest. Sometimes they're tied together, but for now we're focusing on someone who's just collapsed and not responsive. That's where these devices save lives. Carolyn, many people are afraid to use these devices, and I've heard a lot of different reasons why. Mm-hmm. The main one I think is, hey, I don't want to make the situation worse. Can I hurt somebody with one of these?
My response to that is, this is a cardiac arrest. This is as bad as it gets. Yeah. There's no way to make this worse.
You can't make it worse.
You can't.
And then another concern people have is, what if I do something to them that they don't need? Will this device shock somebody that doesn't need it?
The good thing is that these devices are meant to do all the analysis of the person's rhythm themselves. So you can't accidentally deliver something incorrectly. The machine does all the thinking for you.
They're super smart, right?
Right.
People worry that they haven't had training on it or they need some sort of certification to use them, and that's not true either, is it?
Right. It's not true. These are meant for everybody to be able to use them.
It's for the layperson, right?
Right.
I've also heard, hey, what if I put this on somebody and somebody sues me because I did it wrong or it didn't work?
The good thing is that in all 50 states, there are Good Samaritan laws that protect you from being sued.
Yeah. I'd say the only time you get in trouble is not putting it on the person that may need it. Carolyn, can you just help people understand what this situation kind of looks like for somebody that may need one of these devices or these 3 steps we're talking about?
Right. This is something where you either see somebody just collapse right in front of you. They're with you and they were talking and now they're on the ground. It's very, very sudden. Or if you come upon somebody who's on the ground and they're not responding, you can kind of shake them and there's nothing coming back to you. That's an unresponsive person. This is someone that we need to start those 3 steps. Call 911, get an AED, start hands-only CPR.
Carolyn, I think we should take a deeper dive into what a situation really looks like in real life, because this is a scary interaction for people. I think the first step is to recognize this as an emergency and mentally for you to say, okay, so I'm going to be an active participant and make things happen. That's tough to do, but after this, you should be able to handle it.
First things first, go call 911. And if you're by yourself, you call 911. If someone's with you, point at them and say, hey, you call 911. But don't assume that just yelling it out into the air that someone will go do it. And once you get 911 on the phone, put them on speaker. They're going to start coaching you through the next steps.
That's key, right?
Yeah.
After calling 911, you're going to assign somebody to go get the closest AED. While they go do that, you're going to begin hands-only CPR. Put the hands in the middle of the chest and start compressions about 100 to 120 beats per minute. That's almost 2 times a second. When Carolyn's coming back to me with the AED, then we're going to change gears a little bit. The AED looks like this. The first thing she's going to do is turn on the on button. That activates the device.
Adult
The device
attach
walks you
adhesive
through
pads
things.
to patient's bare chest.
It's going to tell you to attach the pads to the patient's bare, dry chest. So you need to expose the chest, and then you need to put the pads on as the picture shows. Once you've got the pads in good position, it's going to analyze the patient's heart rhythm. It's at that point where you just sit back and wait. This will take between 5 and 15 seconds. In that setting, it seems like hours.
Feels like an eternity.
But you have to let the machine do its job. You don't have to make any decision. At the end of that time, the AED is going to tell you either to A, deliver a shock, in which case you say everybody's clear, you push the red button, and it shocks the patient, or it's going to say stand clear, no shock is needed. In that point, you continue CPR. That's it. That's how you use the AED. It walks you through everything. It's going to tell you what to do. They're amazing. Then you continue CPR until either the patient wakes up and pushes you off them, which is hopeful, or until EMS arrives and you let them take over in this emergency situation.
There you go. We've just finished our scenario where you've saved someone's life. Call 911, get an AED, start hands-only CPR.
Yeah.
So hopefully this episode has helped build your confidence that you can do that. And what are some other things you can do to keep working on your confidence if you were to find yourself in this situation?
Yeah.
When you're out and about, start looking for where AEDs are. They're everywhere. You can find them in so many different places. Yeah. You can take a CPR class to take a class and build your own confidence.
Right.
The life that you may end up saving is someone who's going to be close to you. Take this episode and share it with a friend of yours. Hopefully what we've done today is help you go from a scared bystander to a heroic lifesaver. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to Living Heart Smart.
Thank you, everybody.